Hey folks, super excited to show you what we are building here at ThoughtFlow. We are a collaboration platform with a simple mission to bridge the gap between how your team thinks and how they work. Simple but not easy. I've structured this presentation in a way that it'll help you as an investor to make an calculated bet. Let's get started. Now let's take a closer look at the market and the opportunity. If you look at the collaboration tools available in the market, on one end you will find visual collaboration tools. So whether you're doing a whiteboarding session on Miro or doing a brain dump of all your ideas on a mind map on Xmind or laying out all the technical specifications on a diagramming tool like Lucidchart. The output from all these tools is a visual artifact that helps your team decide what they want to do next. At the other end, we have work management tools, whether it's a project management tool like Asana or Monday, or a database tool like Airtable or Notion. These tools help in breaking down work into smaller chunks, delegate it to your team members, and then keep a track of progress. Now, the billion-dollar question is, do people want these to be in separate places or do they want it to be in the same place? Let's see what the numbers say. If you look at the Miro marketplace, the most popular use case is to turn Miro sticky notes into Jira cards. If you look at the Monday.com marketplace, the most popular use case is to embed Miro boards into Monday. If you look at the Atlassian marketplace, the most popular use case is to add technical diagrams from draw.io into Jira or Confluence. So this means there is a large section of the market which is desperately trying to bridge the gap between the way they think and the way they work. So, why is this happening? We are moving from a hierarchical structure of teams where one role makes the decisions and the other role executes it to a more leaner team where individuals take up cross functional roles. Now, just as there is a consolidation in roles, there needs to be a consolidation in the tools. We think there is a huge potential for a tool which natively supports thinking as well as working. Is that even possible? Well, that's what we are building at ThoughtFlow. Let me show you a demo. Okay, so for the demo, we'll use OKRs as an example. I'll show you how a team using Miro might draft their OKRs, uh, how they might have to eventually shift into another tool like a spreadsheet or Notion. And I'll also show you how you can get the best of both worlds by using ThoughtFlow. So here you can see quarterly OKRs for a startup. So I've used different color sticky notes for objectives, key results, and initiatives. And this hierarchy shows everyone in the team how their individual activities add into the company's goals. But then you need to do a lot of other things when you get to execution, planning, budgeting, estimation, hiring, and all that, right? So whiteboard is not a good tool to do that. So typically what happens is you take this and then copy it into another project management tool or a spreadsheet. So here I've copied the same OKRs into a Notion database. So you can see the objectives, key results, and initiatives in different database. And then objectives is connected to key results as a relation column. Key results is connected to initiatives as another relation column. Right. Then I can add additional fields to see who is owning which key result, whether we completed each of these initiatives. So you can think of this as an aspirational view and then this as a tactical view. Now let me show you how you can get the best of both worlds in ThoughtFlow. So in ThoughtFlow, everything starts with a model. So how you have tables, columns, and fields that define the structure in a spreadsheet. Similarly, you have a model in ThoughtFlow. So here for OKRs, we'll make a model for objectives, another model for key results, and then another model for initiatives. Right? Then I'll say that each of my objective is mapped to multiple key results, and then each of my key results is mapped to multiple initiatives. So this is my model. Now I can start filling in here. Let's say, uh, right. So this is our objective, and then you know it looks like, right? So I expand my objectives, I see the key results, I expand key results and see the initiatives. This is what I was doing in Miro earlier. Now the next phase, when I come to the execution, I want to say, okay, each of these key results, have we achieved it or not? So I can go into the model and add a property checkbox saying, okay, whether we have achieved it. And then when I come here, I can mark this as, okay, we have achieved. Maybe on my initiative, I've added a status field, right, with different status. I can see a Kanban view of all my initiatives by status, right? So I wouldn't have to use another tool like Trello. The whole product is in beta right now, and we are working on improving the UX for this. Then, no, again, you wouldn't have to use a spreadsheet. You can take, see the list of all your initiatives. Maybe we want to add some budget for this, right? So I can add a number called budget, and then you can do all the things that you would use a spreadsheet for. So you can see how we are able to manage things that would use multiple tools like Miro, Notion, or Spreadsheet in one place. So as you can see, this is a very horizontal tool. It's not limited to OKRs. So here's, for example, another framework used by product managers called user story mapping. Here I've taken the concepts like product, persona, user goal, activity, like which describes the customer journey. And then using this, you come up with user stories, which eventually developers will build. So let's see how this looks like for a product like Uber. So Uber is used by commuters and drivers. Then commuter has a certain goal to get to their destination, and these are the steps that they take. And to achieve each of this is what we need to build. Right? So this is a nice map which can be used to align your product managers, designers, developers, everybody in the team, again without having to switch between multiple tools. I want to share some reactions from people who seen the demo and used the product. Sam found us on a blog that we wrote about opportunity solution trees using ThoughtFlow.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just saying that I found the ThoughtFlow tool on a blog. I was reading about product management and opportunity solution trees, and I was looking for a faster, easier way to create them than, like, I kind of got frustrated with Miro. I was using Miro for some stuff, and I just wanted something simpler and faster to quickly add different nodes and model connections between opportunities, outcomes, solutions, that sort of thing. And so was trying it out last night. It seems really easy. It seems fast to build things and rearrange things. And I like the way that in the modeling, you can add different connections. Really, it's more data driven, I think, than other
Right.
graphing tools that I've used before. And I like that a lot. So it's cool. I was excited
Awesome.
about it.
Bernie is a best-selling author of a book called KPI Checklists. He runs his consulting firm in UK and also offers training on how to identify and measure the health of a business with KPIs. One of our GTM motion is to partner with consultants like Bernie, publish their frameworks on ThoughtFlow, and monetize it through their audience.
Yeah, so what you described definitely sort of scratches an itch, in that I draw my KPI trees either using Miro, more commonly now, or OmniGraffle, which is a kind of Mac version of, well, it's kind of a hybrid between Visio and Illustrator. I don't know if you're aware of it. So I'm very happy with the visual side of what I build, but I have a pain point, which is once I've built the trees, I then have to transcribe it into Excel. So I've got a big German client. I just created a KPI tree with 400 KPIs on it. I then got to transcribe that hierarchical structure into a flat file on Excel, and then that goes into the next step of my process, which is shortlisting. So for me, if I could build a KPI tree that has metadata to the layers, and then also enabled additional metadata to be attached to each box. So we start with just the KPI name, but then I'd attach scoring, I'd attach a selection flag, and then also I have a KPI definition methodology. which I call the Rocks KPI canvas. So for me, if I could then pass that through and have maintained definitions, which are just basically fields associated with each KPI, that would be really cool.
Anthony is a product marketing consultant in the US. He has more than 50,000 followers on LinkedIn, and he's built this amazing framework of messaging elements that can be used to define your positioning or in creating a B2B website.
Okay, so like for example, when you're thinking about product marketing, a lot of times what the product marketing team does is they have all these messages that need to go to all these different personas and use cases, right? So there's not a great way to get those messages back and forth between the product marketing person and the sales team, the marketing team, and keep everything straight. So like we even talked about building a deliverable that would be like, we'll give you all the messages that you would need for each of your different segments, but also we would show you how they all connect, right? That they would be like, these ones are logically related to these, and the problems are solved by the capabilities. And so we never really had a solution of like, how could we easily switch between the diagram and the list of messaging that would be easier to work with, right? Like the diagram shows you how they connect, but the list itself, it would be where you actually pull the messages from. So just, I mean, when you're showing this to me, it's really interesting. And I feel like there's potentially some ways we could use it in the sense of like being able to give a deliverable where it's like, here's all your messages as a list, but that's not always helpful for you to see how they interact with each other, and then quickly just flip over to the mind map view and have it be the same data in both places. So I think, I mean, it's really cool what you've built.
Next, I want to share more about the traction and the team behind this. Our web app has more than 3,000 beta signups. So these are purely organic, mostly from tutorials and blogs that we wrote about product management. So the way that we approached our product development is, think of the web app as a mothership, and it has different building blocks. And each of these building blocks, we put it on a marketplace, solving some specific use cases. So one of those is a mind mapping add-on for Monday.com, which sits inside Monday.com. People can make a mind map here, then turn each of these nodes into tasks. So this has more than 3,200 installations. Another one is something that generates a mind map from connected items on different boards on Monday.com. So here you can see boards for an agency, clients, deliverables, marketing, and design. And this is a connected view of what their entire team is working on. Another add-on is called multi-board Kanban for Monday.com. So this takes items from different boards and then combines it into one unified Kanban view. This is being used by companies like Starbucks. Coming to the traction from our content, we rank first on Google for the keyword mind mapping alternative for Miro. A lot of other use cases like mind mapping, process mapping, work breakdown structure, these are things where again people are using multiple tools to get their job done. We want to double down on creating content for these keywords. Then one of our tutorial video about user story mapping, it has generated more than 16,000 views. Another add-on that we're building is mind mapping add-on for Notion. So Notion has this great community of ambassadors and influencers, and we reached out to them. A lot of them showed interest. So collectively, their channels have more than 500,000 subscribers. So this is something that in the short term we are really excited about. So coming to the team, I'm the founder, passed out from IIT Kharagpur in 2004. I worked at Microsoft, and my specialization is building user interfaces. In 2022, we raised 100K pre-seed from Upeka, and we also went through the accelerator course. Prasanna and Rajan have been inspirational in helping me transform from a developer to a SaaS entrepreneur. So our ask is we want to raise seed. This will help us accelerate the product development, come out of beta, and at the same time double down on the channels that are working for us: integrations, content, partnerships, and templates. If you're excited about changing the way the world thinks and works, I'd love to talk more with you. Thank you.